Hello friends, now I am discussing about bankers' rights. Here under the banker rights, we are seeing bankers' right of general lien, bankers' right of setup, bankers' right to charge compound interest, incidental charges, commitment charges, and commission. Bankers' right not to produce books of accounts under the Bankers' Books Evidence Act of 1891. And here we shall discuss one by one in detail. Firstly, the matter comes upon the banker's right of general lien. The banker's right of general lien. Before going to the general lien, let us understand what do we mean by lien. So lien is just nothing but lien is a right to retain the property of another until the debt due by the owner of that property is repaid. Means lien is a right to retain one's property until the debt due by the owner of that property is repaid. And here lien is divided into two parts. First one is particular lien and second one is general lien. Particular lien is nothing but it is the right of a creditor to retain particular property until the particular debt is repaid. The general lien is nothing but it is the right of a creditor to retain any property until the general balance, means all the debt due from the owner of that property, is repaid. Let us discuss the difference between particular lien and a general lien. In case of particular lien, the creditor can retain only particular property. But in case of general lien, a creditor can retain any property of his debtor. Second one, in case of particular lien, creditor can retain the property of his debtor only for the non-payment of particular debt. But in case of a general lien, a creditor can retain the property of his debtor not only for the non-payment of a particular debt but also any other debt due from the debtor. Next, a particular debt is enjoyed by any person who has spent his time, labor, and money on the property retained. For example, tailor. If you give cloth to the tailor for stitching shirt or pant or any material, for the stitching charges, he can retain the stitched material with him. Until the payment of the stitching charges, he will not give back the customer's shirts or pants or trousers or any material or any garments. Likely, gold ornaments for making charges due, the goldsmith or gold seller or bullion dealer can retain the jewelry or gold ornaments with him for the payment of making charges. And also we are looking at cycle shops or puncture shops. They can retain the vehicle or wheel until and unless the puncture charge is paid by the owner of the bike or a cycle or a vehicle. Like this, for the non-payment of what we are coming across here is that the people, those who spent their time, money, and labor on the property, they can retain that property until and unless the charge is paid by the owner of the property. But in case of general lien, it is enjoyed only by a few persons like bankers, factors, warfingers, attorneys of high courts, and policy brokers, and by those who obtain it by special agreement. And lastly, we are seeing that by comparing a general lien and a particular lien, the matter appears which is the best. The general lien is more valuable than the particular lien, because in the case of particular lien, the creditor can exercise right only on the particular property. In case of general lien, the creditor can exercise the right of general lien on any property or all the property until and unless all the debts are repaid or any debt is repaid, like that. Let us see what is banker's general lien. Banker's general lien is the right of the banker to retain the goods and securities entrusted to him as a banker by the customer in respect of the general balance, means all the debts due from the customer. The objective of the general lien is to ensure the safety of the banker's funds by serving as a protection against the loss that may arise on a loan, OD, or any other advance granted to a customer. Nature of the banker's general lien. Generally, the lien is possessory lien, but possessory lien means the general lien empowers the possessor of the securities only to retain the securities but not to sell them. But banker's general lien is not like that. The banker's general lien empowers the banker not only to retain the securities but also to sell them without getting any prior permission from the court or any order from the court in the case of pledge. And now we shall see what are the conditions to be satisfied for the enjoyment of the general lien by the banker. A banker can exercise the right of general lien if certain conditions are satisfied. Which are those conditions to be satisfied for exercising the right of general lien by a banker? As the lien is the right of the creditor to retain the securities of his debtor, the securities of the customer should be in the possession of the banker. Means the property must be in the possession of the banker for exercising the right of general lien. If the possession lost, lien also will be lost. So when the property or a security is not in the custody of the banker, how can he exercise his right of lien? And what he can exercise the right of lien? What he can retain? Nothing he can retain, And hence, the securities must be with the possession of the banker for exercising the right of general lien. This is the first one. The second one is the securities given to the banker must belongs to the customer. So he should not entrust the securities which belongs to some other third party. So it should belongs to the customer only. Then only he can exercise right of general lien. Third one is the securities entrusted to the banker must come into his hands in his capacity as a banker. Suppose if the securities have been entrusted to the banker as a bailey, as a trustee, or as an agent of the customer, the banker cannot exercise right of general lien because here the capacity changes. You look at it, the property or the security is given to the banker in the way of bailment, in the way of agent, or in the way of the trust work. Then the banker becomes the bailey, trustee, or an agent of the customer. He cannot exercise the right of general lien on these kind of securities because of capacity changes. Next one is that the possession of the securities must be obtained by the banker lawfully. If the possession obtained by force, if the possession is obtained by illegal matters, then the banker cannot exercise his right of general lien on this property. There must be no entrustment of the securities for a specific or special purpose. The securities should not be entrusted to the banker for specific or special purpose. If it is entrusted for specific purpose, then the banker cannot exercise his right of general lien on these securities. Next is that the debt for which the securities are retained should have been actually due for payment, on which he can exercise right of general lien means the debt must be actually due for making payment. Otherwise, he cannot exercise his right of general lien. For the exercise of general lien, the credit and debit must be held by the customer in the same right and the same capacity. So these are all the conditions necessary for the enjoyment of general lien by the banker. Let us see the circumstances under which the banker can exercise right of general lien. The first one is that the banker can exercise right of general lien on customers' funds or deposits or credit balance lying with the banker in his capacity as a banker. Earlier, what happens here is that the banker can exercise right of general lien on the funds or deposits coming into him as a banker. But a judgment came out in the Madras High Court between Brahmaya versus KP Thangavelu Nadar during 1950. The judgment says that the right of the banker over the money deposited with him by the customer would not be really a lien. It would be more appropriate to call it as a right of set-off. And hence, the banker cannot exercise right of general lien on the funds or deposits coming into his hands in the way of banker, but he can exercise right of set-off on that matter. Now let us see the second one. The banker can exercise the right of general lien on goods coming into his hands. The goods coming into his hands. The banker can exercise right of general lien on the goods coming into his hands as a banker. The banker can exercise a right of general lien on documents of title to goods. The banker can exercise right of general lien on the title of goods like bill of lading, railway receipt, bill of lading, railway receipt, dock warrant, etc., which are coming into his hands as a banker. The banker can exercise right of lien on the fixed deposit receipt. A banker has the right of general lien on a duly discharged fixed deposit receipt that comes into his hands as a banker. The banker can exercise the right of general lien on life insurance policy, which is coming into his hands as a banker. The banker can exercise right of general lien on checks, bills, etc. deposited for collection with him. Then the banker can exercise his right of general lien on the negotiable instrument deposited for safe custody till maturity and collection. For example, a banker has a general lien on a bill of exchange or a hundi deposited with him for safety till maturity and collection, as he has to deal with it as a banker in collecting it. The banker can exercise the right of general lien on dividend and the interest warrants deposited for collection, as it is coming into his hands in the capacity of a banker. The banker can exercise the right of general lien on interest and dividend coupons deposited for collection. The banker can exercise right of general lien on specific securities left with him after the repayment of specific loan. So here the banker can exercise right of general lien on securities deposited with him to secure or recover a specific loan, but left in his hands after the loan has been repaid. This is because leaving the securities with the banker after the repayment of a specific debt or loan, the customer is supposed to have redeposited them as securities for other outstanding debts. It means so, and hence the banker can exercise right of general lien on specific securities left with him after the repayment of a specific loan. The banker can exercise right of general lien on surplus sale proceeds of the security. When the security is deposited with the banker for a specific loan or sold with the banker and there is a surplus after the settlement of the specific loan, the banker can exercise a right of general lien on that surplus also. Then we are going to the circumstances in case of time barred debts. The banker can exercise right of general lien on the time barred debts. A banker's right of general lien is a banker's right of general lien is not borrowed by the law of limitation, because the law of limitation only bars the remedy but not the debt. Therefore, a banker can exercise a right of general lien even in respect of debts which have become time barred. So these are all the circumstances under which a banker can exercise right of general lien. Now we shall discuss the circumstances under which a banker cannot exercise right of general lien. There is no lien on deposits of money. As I already told that the banker cannot exercise his right of general lien on the money deposited by the customer, because he can exercise only the right of right of set off, not the general lien. Next, no lien on safe custody deposits. As in here, what happens? The banker cannot exercise right of general lien on the securities deposited with him only for safe custody. What happens here? He receives the security for safe custody. He is supposed to be acting as a bailee here, and in the capacity of a bailee, he has no lien at all. This is what the banker cannot exercise right of general lien on safe custody deposits. No lien on money deposited for a specific purpose. For example, if the customer deposited the money for the purchase of bank draft, travelers checks and like that, the banker cannot have general lien on that money. No lien on bills or promissory notes, etc. deposited for a special purpose. For example, if a bill of exchange is sent to a banker for collection with specific instructions to apply the proceeds of the bill for a particular purpose, the banker has no lien on the proceeds of that bill. No lien on securities left with him inadvertently. A banker has no general lien on securities left with him by the customer inadvertently or by mistake, because in this case the possession of the securities has not obtained by the banker lawfully. No lien on securities obtained by force. No lien on securities obtained by force, because if the banker obtained the securities by using the force, he cannot exercise the right of general lien on that. And here, no lien on securities left to cover a loan which is not granted. So if the loan is not yet granted, how can he exercise the right of general lien on those securities? So here, because loan is not granted at all, what the law says, for exercising the right of general lien, the debt must be actually due for making payment. But here it is not such, and hence the banker cannot exercise the right of general lien on this. No lien on securities received for sale. A banker cannot exercise right of general lien on the securities received for sale, because the securities are received for specific purpose. Here, no lien on securities furnished to cover a specific debt. A banker cannot exercise right of general lien on securities entrusted by a customer to cover a specific or particular debt because the special contract excludes the banker's right of general lien. Here, no general lien on negotiable securities to which the customer has no title or defective title. A banker has no general lien on the negotiable securities to which the customer has no valid title at all, because when there is no ownership or property or interest or a title over the securities, how can the banker exercise right of general lien on these securities? Because the securities not belongs to him at all. No lien in respect of contingent debt. The banker has no general lien on the securities of his customer for contingent debt or future debt, because the debt is not actually due. Like, these are all the circumstances under which the banker cannot exercise the right of general lien. Thanks for listening. Thank you all.